What's up, everybody? Big Herc 916, and you're tuned into another edition of my vlog. Want to say thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thanks for all your support. You know I'm all about that positivity and that motivation, and you know I'm a big car guy, and I'm back at Hunt for Speed out here in Westminster, and about to go take a look at Clara, my Cougar, my 68, and see what's the update with the status, man. We're gonna see what direction we're really gonna go in with the car, and get filled in on some of the things that we have to fix before we can move forward. Stay tuned. So I'm here with Josh, and this is the master mechanic behind Hunt for Speed, and he knows any and everything about cars, but more or less he's gonna break down some of the things that we have to fix on Clara, the Cougar, before we can move forward, and then what his vision is on really getting this car to perform how it should perform. So Josh, what's first on the agenda, man?
Well, we just got done draining all the fluids out because we're going to pull the drivetrain out due to the motor having low compression on one of the cylinders, and just the amount of blow-by, because this thing was equipped with what we call a draft tube, straight out the valve covers and just coating the whole drivetrain with oil. And as we're tearing it apart, we're just finding so many other questionable stuff. Like we got the rat's nest of fan control wires. Really don't need 4 relays to control 2 fans, but there's 5 here, so we'll figure that one out. We just pulled the transmission lines off, which we realized were made out of aluminum, which you just don't do. They had them twisted around, so they probably weren't even flowing anyways, getting ready to fail. And we just keep walking back further. Questionable welds, because we got, this has the Mustang 2 front suspension kit. We do not know the brand.
I think it's TCI.
TCI?
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully we can get a hold of them if we have to get some more parts for it. But you just tell it was just done with like a 120 volt welder. And at least it looks like they actually attempted to plate the body, but they ground all the welds down, which just is for looks, but it really just weakens everything on the car. And we're just gonna have to do some measuring to make sure it's straight, and then we'll grind the welds down and see if we can work them with a TIG, or maybe just use our 220 MIG back on it. We just keep going back further. Like we have the brake lines on this. We're finding aluminum fittings on stainless steel, and I believe these calipers are forged aluminum, so just a anodized blue fitting just isn't going to cut it. And if we go to the back of the car, to continue with the brake parts, I haven't actually showed you this yet, but that's the rear brakes. You probably want to secure these in some way.
Oh shit.
And you can just tell they got forged caliper, again I'm assuming it's forged, brass fitting to a steel zinc line. Then they got that, which apparently wasn't long enough, so it's got an adapter, coupler, feeler point in the brake line, just getting ready to just get into anywhere where it shouldn't be. And as we're following that, we can see we get to a questionable fuel system with a Holly red pump with no pre-filter, but they got the filter behind it, so I guess that's good for the engine. And it's not even wired up, so we're not quite sure what that was about.
Wow.
And then as we're looking at that, we get to, there's 2 fuel lines, and then we just found this one that we don't actually know what this one's for.
Wow, that's crazy. That was just sitting in there?
Just sitting in there.
No way.
We're pretty sure
No way.
It's a vent line, but you can see it's actually
wow.
smashing on the sway bar.
That's crazy. That was just sitting in there.
Just sitting in there, which is just zip tied up.
Oh my God.
And I think that's going up to the filler, but we're not to the top of the car
Oh my
yet.
God.
We're still at the bottom of the car. And that's actually got to the point of the fuel line, which is too short, is hitting on the sway bar. We're in full droop, but this car goes up about 2 inches, and it's pretty much just riding right there on the braided fabrics fuel line.
Man, it's crazy, man.
Which is just zip tied to the frame connectors. So, which say you can actually see the mark right here.
Wow. Where it's been scraping, so that could have came down any time.
So if it's scraped all these zip ties off, now the fuel line is dragging the ground.
I'm telling you, man, it takes everything in my willpower not to go and split this guy's wig. And then what about even right here where they did? You said they banged out the floorboard for the seat.
I haven't gotten into the interior yet because baby steps here, but you could see weld marks in a square pattern about the shape of a seat adapter. And I was actually under the assumption this had stock seats in it, so I'm gonna have to make another check on that.
Yeah, no, it's got Pontiac GTO seats, power seats.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably, this is probably just a reproduction GM plate, because in the GM cars when they put bucket seats in, they weld an extra support for that. So that's probably a GM part welded to a Ford floorboard, but obviously it didn't fit to their standards, so they actually opened up the floor over here on both sides and just hammered it down, and just did some really bad spot welds and did not seam seal it. So this is actually an open gap right into the car.
And water and anything could have got in there.
Yeah, anything could get in there, and it would just go in here and probably just settle back here, and it would never dry, and it would just smell.
And I was wondering why, because my wife said, your seat feel like it's not even, like it's tilted to one side, and that's probably why, because of the weight, and this is sagging.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge anybody, but I'm guessing they didn't put a level on this car when they were welding this in.
No, because it does. She's like, it feels like it's leaning to the right.
And it's amazing how you can easily sit in a car and just be like, this isn't right.
Yeah.
You get used to it, but it's just
I felt
jump from one car to another, and
exactly
it just feels off.
Damn it, man.
So we're gonna have to tear the interior apart, figure out what the mess is. I'll probably just end up straightening this the best we can.
Okay.
Put some more tacks on, but the one thing that would have stopped me from even looking at this, if it just had some seam sealer on it.
Yeah.
Because
man,
covering it up, but you can only dig so far into a car. It's just never going to happen.
And so, after we get past all this the melee of this shit, what do you have in mind, or what do you think? What we discussed earlier as far as what you can do with this, as far as performance wise.
Well, with the way the rear setup is this, which in this would we call, let me shoot myself in the foot on this. I'm going to call it a modified 3-link with a panhard with a giant torque arm, which is really great for autocrossing. It's not quite strong enough for drag racing. Mostly just trying to get the lowest ET. It's super strong. We could easily put probably 1,000 horsepower to this. So I don't see why we shouldn't just try to shoot for at least anywhere between 600 to 800, just to be safe.
Okay. And you said that could be done most likely with just, if we do like you said, a Coyote with a supercharger?
Yeah, I honestly think that we could just get a bone stock like wrecked Mustang GT 5-liter engine and probably source maybe like an Edelbrock or any other company. We might even just try to go with a centrifugal just for hood clearance, and we should be able to reliably make 600, 700 depending on the tune and the fuel we run.
Okay.
And it should just be really smooth idle. Probably get decent gas mileage if you keep your foot out of it.
Okay.
And we just put a matching transmission in. So it gets, probably go with like a 5 or 6 speed. I'd have to look into that. And just go with aftermarket controllers to it, and pretty much get them to do whatever we want it to do.
Yeah, because my main goal with this car is like to be a GT car. I want to be able to take it on trips, show it, and also perform the car. Maybe even here and there do a half mile or something in the car. So overall, I just want to have a balanced car that can keep up with some of the modern supercars out there, but have this old school look.
And it's definitely achievable. It's other than the questionable front suspension with the welds, the back part is all bolted.
Okay.
And it's fully adjustable everywhere with Hines on the panhard. We can adjust the pinion angle with these. We can adjust the track width with these trailing arms. So this, we just check the bolts and make sure that's good. And it should be just a real smooth driving car. Because it's already got the ride text in it. Just as long as nothing's wore out or bad, it should easily take the horsepower and just be a nice, smooth GT car.
Oh man, well that's what I'm shooting for, man. I mean, that's always been my vision with this car, is to have something that was like a wolf in sheep's clothing. And you know, nobody really does Cougars just because Ford, the Mustang was always more popular.
So we should be able to put a pretty decent back tire on it.
Yeah, because they have 17s on it right now. I'm thinking with American Racing, but I want to go eventually with, if I can go with something a little bit bigger to be nice, you know, get a little bit wider, more meat back there.
We're going with the meat.
Yeah.
Because I think it had a 255 on it. I don't see why we couldn't easily put a 275, maybe with a little massaging.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about the front being that had 225s on it. I'm hoping we can just go with a different offset rim and at least go up to a 235. I'd love to try to figure out how to get a 245 up front.
Okay.
That might be cutting into the looks of the car.
Yeah. Yeah, because the way that wheel well is trying to...
It's mostly...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
This, you can actually see where the tires are actually rubbing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that's going to be, with the wider wheel there, it'd be, the clearance is going to be an issue, huh?
Yes, and so you fix that by just spacing the tire out, but you only have so much wheel well.
You're right.
In the past, it's really hard to keep the looks and put like a wide body kit on it.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Even though Liberty Walk kit, put big 305s in the front and a 315 on the back.
It's got just pretty lines on this Cougar, man, just with the way they designed. It's just like you know, the way it's flared, it's just right. But like you said, I don't know. We'll I guess we'll get to that when we cross it, as far as figuring that part out.
It kind of concaves in.
Yeah.
You can almost flatten this or even cut this out.
You're right, to give it the extra maybe inch or so, huh?
You'd be gaining
2 inches?
2 inches just doing that, and I might not affect the look that much.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that, because this right here kind of comes in and it cuts into the wheel well. So if we cut that, and then you would kind of gain another 2 inches, huh?
Yeah, and we could lower the car or just put a taller rim with low rest rubber, and it wouldn't really look like you were opening up the
No, you're right, because I actually want to take this off anyways. Get rid of the chrome, cut that out, and that'll give us another 2 inches.
But those purists out there will eat you alive on that.
Well, they're gonna have to deal with, at least some key, you know, like you said, we're keeping it Ford, which they should be happy with that, because I know the comments on the 2JZ stuff, they didn't like that.
That was my idea.
Yeah.
That was my idea.
So, hey, you guys, there you have it, man. Clara, the 68 Cougar, man, it's got a lot of reworking, but this baby, when it's done, it's going to be shining out here in Southern Cali. So, you know, and Josh is going to be the man behind it. When we actually get this thing going, we're going to see some sick videos. So I'll be coming back to the shop weekly, getting updates, and keeping you guys posted. So stay tuned.